I think I got it on YouTube. All right, we're good. I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Okay. Thank you, darling. Bye bye.
All
All
right,
right,
we're
we're on
good. I'm on
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Okay. Thank you, darling.
I just posted the YouTube link in the chat. We are going to be recording live. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to um, take my video off. I would recommend everybody taking your video off for a moment, and we'll start at 10 o'clock. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are recording live on YouTube. I posted a YouTube link in the chat box so that we can allow our families to join us on this first iZone Parent Virtual Academy. At this time, may I have Ms. Erda, if you would share your screen so that we could see what's up for our parents today.
Ms. Hunter, as the host of the meeting, you have to give me sharing ability.
Sure, just a moment. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll navigate from there, okay?
Okay.
Can everybody see the first screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is our Innovation Zone Parent Virtual Academy presented by Coker Wimbley Elementary School and our Coker Wimbley staff. This is our first meeting. We will also have a meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Now we'll have our introductions for our Coker Wimbley hosts this morning. I am Melanie Hunter, principal of Coker Wimbley Elementary School. Ms. Hemmon.
My name is Ms. Hemmon. I'm the 4th and 5th grade expanded impact teacher.
And I am Miss Erda. I am the Hill Rap teacher.
I am Mrs. Lyons Cook. I am the school counselor.
Ms. Peebles, who is our multi-classroom leader, is teaching a Summer Smart program right now, but she's also part of our team.
Hi, I'm Miss Gordon Bray, and I am the iZone Community Engagement Partner.
And Miss Sylvia McGahey is our Wallace Grant Coordinator. She's also a huge part of our Virtual Academy program for today. Next, the purpose of our purpose of our Parent Virtual Academy is to provide parents with an overview of the remote tools that scholars will be using during their online learning. We also want to respond to your questions about online learning and try to address the concerns that you may have during this presentation. Ms. Altimos is going to give us the agenda for today.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay, great. We're going to go over a number of digital tools today that students will be able to use during remote instruction. And so we're going to go over what digital citizenship looks like. We'll introduce you to the Scholars Virtual Classroom. We'll go over what Clever is, what Google Classroom looks like, how to access student grades from PowerSchool. We'll go over then the other programs such as Nearpod, KidBlog, Flipgrid, Class Dojo, Seesaw, and then at the end, we will share district resources.
I also want to mention at the very end of our program today, there will be an opportunity for you to win a prize. We're going to give you an opportunity to see what online assessments can look like for your scholars. There's a quick little evaluation also at the end. So please respond to the evaluation and join us in playing this quick little game. There's a $25 Amazon gift card for the person that has the fastest time and the most answers correct. Digital citizenship. We understand that we're in a digital age and scholars will be doing a lot of online learning. We want to make sure that scholars are able to collaborate, share, and submit assignments in this virtual space. I want parents to remember this is a public place, that what scholars post online will last for a lifetime and other people can see what they post. So make sure that you are supervising your scholar when they're online. If you're not able to sit directly beside them, be aware of the websites that they're visiting while they're in the online space. Any inappropriate actions that are done online may have long-term consequences. So while you may make a mistake, sometimes in a digital space, those mistakes can wind up remaining on a person's identity for a long time. All websites are not created equal. Please try to stick to those websites that are approved by our school or by the district. That way you can pretty much be assured that the website is safe. And please help us monitor by reporting any misuse immediately. Next, we'll have Ms. Erda. I'm going to guide you through these links for you, if that's okay. She's going to talk to us about the virtual classroom.
Okay, so this picture that you're seeing right here is an example of what your child's virtual classroom may look like. There may be some slight variation depending on the teacher, but this is the general layout that all scholars will have. So as Ms. Hunter pulls up the interactive model, if you have a child who is in grades 2 through 5, they will access their virtual classroom in this manner. So everything that they will need is linked in here. Every platform that they need to use will be accessible through their virtual homeroom. So for example, if your child signs in and it's time for their reading lesson, they will go click on the blue box that says ELA. It has the pictures of the books, and it will take them directly to their reading classroom. Within their reading classroom, they have everything that they're going to need for their lesson for the day. They even have access to their teen time resources. They have their do now, which is the beginning, like the warm up of their lesson. All they'll have to do is click where it says do now, and it'll pull up whatever their do now activity is for the day. In this example, their do now activity is to watch this video about their unit, and they'll write down some thoughts that they have about the video. Once their do now is over, they'll go back to their classroom, and it'll be time for the main lesson of the day. And all they'll have to do is click where it says lesson. It'll open up a Google Hangout link where they can meet with their teacher and their classmates for their lesson for the day. After they have completed their lesson with their teacher and their classmates, they will sign out of their Google Hangout. They will go back to their classroom, and it'll be time for them to have their independent practice. And so whatever the teacher has assigned for their independent practice, the student will just click where it says practice, and they'll have their set time to do whatever assignment and practice the skills that they have just learned with their teacher and their classmates. After that, they will have their exit ticket for the day. They can't leave their class that day without completing their exit ticket, just to show what they learned for the day. They also will have access in their reading room to virtual letter tiles or letter cards, where they can practice whatever letter sounds. They can practice building words and putting word parts together. They will have virtual math manipulatives for their math classroom that will work essentially the same way. All they'll have to do is click on the basket and it will pull them up for them. They also have access to their iReady login by clicking on the picture of iReady, and it'll take them directly to the login page, and they can complete their iReady lesson at any point that their teacher assigns them to do so. They have access to a help page as well that shows the teacher's contact information, so they can contact their teacher through email, their phone number. It also will open up their class Google Drive, which should have all of the assignments that the teacher has posted for the students that day. So essentially every classroom is going to look similar to this for reading and for math. We have created a separate classroom for those scholars in kindergarten and first grade to make it a little bit easier to navigate for our younger babies, because we don't want them to be overwhelmed with a lot of pictures. So when Ms. Hunter pulls up the next picture, there we go. This is what your kindergarten scholar or your first grade scholar's virtual classroom will look like. Again, a slight variation depending on their teacher's Bitmoji and that type of thing, but the colors are the same. So for reading, they click on blue. For math, they click on purple. They can also access any of their encore classes. So if it's time for PE, they'll come click on the green PE button, and it should open up a link to the PE class for the day. But we wanted to make it a little more simple for our young students in kindergarten and first grade. All of this will be able to be accessed through the school website. They can access it through Clever. They can access it through their Google Classroom, which all of those things we will talk about later on in this presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Urda. Next, we'll have Ms. Hemmon, who's going to talk to us about Clever.
Thanks, Ms. Hunter. So Clever is an online app And it is basically a hub for everything that scholars will need during the remote learning process. It's essentially an app that houses other apps. So it's a one-stop shopping. So students have access to click on any of the resources or any of the digital platforms that we will be using throughout remote and virtual learning. When you log in, there are two different options. It's a single sign-in, so students will use their school email and password to log in. And once they've logged in once, they're logged into all of the other apps. For our younger students in K2, there is an ID badge, which is similar to like a QR code that we can scan, and all students and parents will have access to their child's username and login, as well as their ID badges before the start of the school year, so you'll have those available. But essentially every app that we're going to ask students to use will be housed within the Clever app. They'll have access to Newsy-Olay, iReady, Nearpod, Benchmark Advanced, which is our reading curriculum. They'll also have access to Google Classroom, iStation, Seesaw, and more. Ms. Hunter, if you'll click on that link, this is just a PDF document that we will share. And that just gives step-by-step instructions on how to download the Clever app on a device at home. And we'll also give you step-by-step on how to log into the app once you've downloaded it.
Miss Hammond, can you try to share now your screen?
So this is what the PDF document looks like. It tells you how to download the Clever app. You can download this app through the App Store or Google Play. So you can use it on any device at home or on the student Chromebooks. Once you download the app, you'll see two options. Here on the right is the ID badge for the younger students. And over here is a login with Google button. That's where students will sign in with their school email and password. And then again, once you log in, these are some of the apps that you'll be able to have access to, which is essentially all of the apps that we're going to ask students to use. We will provide the student usernames, passwords, and ID badges as well.
Thank you. Next, we'll have I'll be discussing the Google Classroom with you. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see what Google Classroom looks like. Okay, so Google Classroom, it looks like a little icon for your student when they log into Google. There'll be a little image that looks like this three-person icon. When they click on that, it'll take scholars to their assignments. Google Classroom is a place where teachers will house scholar assignments. It'll be an opportunity for scholars to collaborate, work on projects, and parents have access to the Google Classroom. A lot of these software options are parent friendly. So we want parents to be able to see what their scholars are doing when they're online. Google Classroom, again, is a hub. It will house scholar assignments and also give parents an opportunity to see what their assignments are. This is what a Google Classroom slide might look like. It may have a teacher's name here, you'll be able to see how many students might be in that class. This is actually a teacher's side where the teacher might see their different classrooms, but it'll say how many students are enrolled and what class name that teacher may be teaching. Next, we'll have Ms. Lyons-Cook. She's going to go over our Power School Parent Portal.
Good morning. Parents, you have the opportunity to monitor your child's grades, assignments, and attendance through our Power School Parent Portal. The Parent Portal is an online portal accessible anywhere on the web that parents can log in and see all of your scholars in one place. That means that if you have a child at Coca Wimberley, Phillips, and North, you can access all of their information with one login. This portal provides confidential and real-time access to information tied to your child or children, such as their grades, attendance, assignments, and much more. So this portal also allows you to communicate with teachers electronically so that information is shared on a regular and timely basis. Ms. Hunter, would you share the letter, please?
Sure.
So parents, if you would like to have access, please notify the office to obtain the forms and the information that is required to create your very own personal and confidential Power School Parent Portal account. You will receive this letter providing you with all the information and steps necessary to log in. You will receive your parent confidential ID and password, as well as directions on how to navigate through the tabs to obtain information on your scholar and or communicate with the teachers. So your scholar also has access to this information. They have their own ID and password, which will be different from yours. So our hope and our expectation is that all of our parents on the north side will sign up. So please notify the office so we can get you started. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons Cook. Next, we're going to have our presentation by Ms. Hemmon on Nearpod. I'm going to stop sharing so she can share with you.
Hi, everyone. So let me share my screen with you. So Nearpod is a platform that we have used in the past and we are going to continue to use during this time of remote learning. It essentially is a student engagement platform that allows for increased collaborative opportunities among students. So when students log in, what they'll see is an option where they will type in a code. This is the only thing that students need to log into Nearpod. They do not need a separate username or password. They will be given an access code by their teacher, and that will direct them to that day's individual lesson or activity. Once they sign on, I will log in as a teacher, so you get an example of what students will see, because what the teacher sees is also what the student sees. So here is an example of a lesson. And when I open it, it will give students an access code. And again, this is the code that they will type in. Once they type in that access code, everything that I see on my screen is exactly what they will see on their screen. So this picture of the place value chart will also pop up on their screen. The teacher screen and the student screens will be mirrored. And because it is mirrored, I, as the teacher, am going to direct students through the presentation. So as I click through the presentation, it will also move all of the student screens so that we can work through a lesson or an activity together. On the app, there are also different collaborative activities where students can go on virtual field trips. They can draw, they can do fill in the blank activities, they can take quizzes. There's a whole multitude of things that are options for student activities. But again, it's a collaborative platform where students will be able to really interact and work together in this virtual setting.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Ms. Erda, who's going to talk to you a little bit about Kid Blog. Take it away, Ms. Erda. You can share your screen as well.
Okay, so Kid Blog is a platform that we're going to use specifically for Team Time, which is our social emotional learning program that we addressed in our previous live session. So as I share my screen, I'm going to show an example of what exactly KidBlog is. So KidBlog is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a blog site made specifically for children. It's a very safe, protected platform, so only people that have access to the class can actually see the posts, but students can essentially learn writing skills, but they also learn a lot of digital citizenship skills by learning how to appropriately interact online and how to leave positive comments for their classmates and how to share what they've learned in their classroom with other people so that they are learning that they have an audience to write for, and it's very collaborative, it's very interactive. So the student view is very similar to this teacher view that I have up here. And so if your student is on Miss Erda's team for team time, they'll sign in, they'll come click on Miss Erda's team over here. And within Miss Erda's team, you can see every post that people in her team have posted. Right now, there are only 2, but I want to come read about Parent University. So I'm going to click on that. And right here, we have the blog post that I made last night about our Parent University. So students can see this. They can read the post by the original poster, which was me. Then they can also come down here and they can leave comments. So essentially, it's just like a regular blog that you would read about, cooking, about anything else that you might see. They can leave comments. They can learn how to leave positive comments and how to encourage the writer to continue writing or provide suggestions to make their writing even stronger. They can kind of personalize their comments. They can change the color. They can change the size. They can change the font if they want to make it a little bit more personal for them. Every post and every comment has to be approved by the teacher before it can be viewed by anybody else in the class, because we do want to keep it safe. We want to make sure that things are appropriate and that things aren't sent on accident that shouldn't have been sent. So everything has to be approved first. Parents also can access the class posts by signing in as a guest, and the guest is able to read every post. They can read about what their students are learning in class. They can read their students' interactions with one another, and they can also leave comments. So it's a really great way to connect families with school, and it's a really great way to get students talking about their learning, because you can access it anywhere that you have a device. So you can access it at home, they can access it at school. If they, go to their grandparents' house, they have a computer, they can access it there. They can share what they're doing at school with their family. So it's a really great way to get families involved and to get students talking about their experiences in school. So we will be using this specifically for team time. This is a new platform for teachers and for students. So we're still going to be working some things out, but hopefully this will be something that really takes off in the future for students to really continue developing their writing skills and their collaboration skills.
Ms. Erda, I noticed in the upper left-hand corner, there's a Google Classroom symbol. What does that mean?
This means that they can connect to their Google Classroom, which we shared a little bit about earlier. So they should be able to access their KidBlog from their Google Classroom. You can connect the two so that you can sign in to KidBlog through Google Classroom. So you might not even need a separate username or password. If you already have signed into your Google Classroom, you should be able to automatically connect to KidBlog.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to share my screen and talk to you a little bit about Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a virtual way to submit assignments for scholars. It's very user-friendly, highly collaborative, and it offers peer-to-peer engagement. On the lower left-hand side is what my screen would look like. So it shows my assignments and how much engagement there was for a particular post. I'm going to show you a quick little video. This video was taken during our Dress as a Book Character Day, where scholars were able to answer questions posted on Flipgrid. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. My apologies. There you go. There's Flipgrid. Here's my screen on the lower left-hand corner. And here's a little clip of a student who dressed up as a book character, so you can get an idea of what it would look like from Flipgrid.
Hello, my name is Anasia. I dress up as Harry Potter because Harry is smart and he also has two friends, Ron and Hermione. He has one enemy. He is in Gryffindor. I am also. I love reading his books. This is my question.
All right, so in that little clip, a teacher is able to assess how well a student understood an assignment. So not only are we applying students' writing skills, we're also applying students' reading skills using Flipgrid. Flipgrid is also a way for a student to be really creative in how they present information to others. So we use Flipgrid with adults in our school building as well as with students. And the great thing about this particular assignment, students can view each other's assignments and make comments. So you will see scholars having assignments from Flipgrid, and they'll look similar to the video that you saw at the bottom of your screen. Next, we'll talk about Class Dojo. Class Dojo is a two-way communication application where teachers can email and message parents directly. Many of you, if you're already connected to Class Dojo, you'll see that we send out stories about our scholars. We send out alerts, such as if we have bus delays or we have a change in our meal delivery, you might get an alert through Class Dojo. We also share our flyers through Class Dojo. Class Dojo is another way also to create student portfolios where we can house all of the student work in one place. Parents have an opportunity to go on Class Dojo and like something that they saw, but also send a message directly to the teacher. It is a great way to communicate not only with the school, and but also with your teacher as well. So you'll see on Class Dojo that teachers will post pictures. Student work can be shared. Students can create stories about things that they learn, and really offer a great way to have two-way communication between the school and our parents. Next, we'll have Seesaw. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Miss Erda, if you would share yours.
Yes, so Seesaw is a great learning tool. It's very user-friendly and it's made specifically for younger students, the K2 students, but older students can use it as well. It is a digital portfolio. So it's basically like a binder that's full of student work and assignments, but it's in a digital format. So I'm going to show you what the teacher view looks like. I tried to do a student view and it wouldn't let me. So this is essentially what Seesaw looks like. So this is a sample student over here. I, as the teacher, set an assignment, which was to practice story elements. So after we read a story, the student would be able to access this background and they can fill it in a multitude of ways. They can type in there. There's a drawing tool that they could draw in there. They can take pictures and upload them. They can search for pictures on the internet and upload them as well. And it's a way for them to present their learning in a way that's not always pencil to paper and in a way that works best for them. They can record their voice as well and just talk about the different story elements if that's a way that works best for them. They can create a video and embed the video in here if that's how they choose to present their work. But there are so many different ways that they can create work. So over here, this was me trying to show my students how to do it at one point, showing them the different options that I could draw, I could type, I could add pictures to it. So throughout the year, I, as the teacher, will add a bunch of different activities. And so one of the end of the year activities that I had assigned was to give advice for next year's class. So I had this background and all of the directions are right here. There's also a way you can add your own voice. So for students that may struggle to read or struggle to comprehend written instructions, they can listen to me explain the directions as well. And it's very easy to add a response. You click the green plus button over here. You select your name as the student. And over here, you're able to complete the assignment. So what do you need to know about next year? I could add a text box and I can type in, expect your teachers to be awesome. And I can move it over somehow. Like that. I can move it over Here, you expect your teachers to be awesome. If I want to record my voice, the best thing you learn is I come over here, I click on the microphone, and I can record my voice and it'll add it. I can take a picture and add it in there by clicking on the camera button. And there are more options over here. You can add shapes, add a background. You can even embed a link to somewhere else. So there's a variety of different ways that students can present their learning. And it's really awesome when they connect on here because their work follows them through through the next school year. So if my students in second grade that did all of their work, if their third grade teacher uses Seesaw, they can connect because they're connected through their school account. And the third grade teacher can see all of the work that they completed in second grade as well. And it follows them throughout all of their years of school. So that is Seesaw.
Thank you, Ms. Erda, for sharing with us Seesaw. Next, we're going to go to our assessments page, and I'm going to share my screen. Assessments. So in an online environment, we're going to have, scholars will continue to have quizzes in an online space. So some of the online tools that we'll be using for assessments include Mastery Connect, where they can get through from their Clever page. Kahoot is a fun way that scholars can compete with each other and against themselves. And I will be looking at your scholar may be talking to you a little bit about Kahoot because it's so engaging for scholars to work through quiz type questions and compete against each other. As Ms. Hemmon explained in Nearpod, as she assigns her lesson, she can embed in her lesson little assessments that scholars can take while they're in the course of her lesson. Flipgrid, again, is a way that scholars can record their responses, and then the teacher can turn around and grade the responses based on the quality of the students' answers. Quizzes is one of the assessment tools that I want parents to give a try today. So the next page is showing you what a screen will look like when you're taking a quizzes quiz. So at this time, I want to give parents an opportunity. If you have your computer, go ahead and log on to this website, type your name when you get there, and click start. We're going to give you about 5 minutes to complete this little assessment. There are only 10 questions. The person that has the highest score in the fastest time will win a $25 Amazon gift card. If you're ready, go ahead and use this link. Take a try so you can have a test run at what your scholars will be doing, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. One minute and 30 seconds left. One minute left. Ten seconds. Okay, time is up. We have Maria. Maria, you've tried our quizzes game. We do not have your email address, so if you would please shoot us an email. I'll ask Ms. Sharp to put my email address into the chat. I'm sorry, into Facebook Live, so we can award you your prize. Miss Maria had a score of 600. So we want to give her a round of applause for trying out our game. Congratulations. We want to make sure you get your prize. Thank you for trying our quizzes prize time game. Next, we'll have Miss Bray, who's going to discuss our district resources.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Hi, everyone. So I hope that you enjoyed how today went and just the overview that we provided of some of the tools that your students will be using over the next year. We've got a couple of additional resources if you just want to dive in a bit deeper. The district has done a fantastic job on the website of providing resources for instructional continuity and parent and student resources. They go into Google Classroom a bit more, but they also provide some really great resources that are things off of the computer, ways to support social emotional learning at the house, as well as just providing constant updates of what's been going on in the district as we progress forward. And thank you so much, Ms. Hunter, for scrolling down. As you can see, they have it broken down to K through 5, 6 to 8, and 9 through 12 learning. So those are some great resources that parents should definitely look into if they have additional questions on how do you support your learner during this time. If you want to go back to the slides, and we've got just 2 more. Google Classroom has also done a fantastic job of providing really step-by-step to give you an understanding of what is possible in Google Classroom. You'll sometimes maybe hear your learner talk about Google Hangout, Google Meet, turning in an assignment on Google Classroom. And if any of those are a bit confusing, luckily Google has not only provided these step-by-step instructions, but they've also provided some great video tutorials. So when your teachers of your students aren't able to help you and walk you through, Google is there to once again, help you answer some questions. And the last one that we have here is support for Clever as another resource. And again, this is from the district's learning plan that they've provided to everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bray. And Ms. Bray, remind our families your role in the iZone.
Yes. So many of you might not have seen me because I joined a week before school let out due to the current pandemic. But I work in the iZone as the community engagement partner. So just trying to make sure that everyone in our community, starting with our parents, really understands what we are trying to do in the classroom and redesigning school, bring the rest of the community in, because we know that transformation that starts with our students can really expand out. So really taking to heart that the students are the architects of their lives and that they're rooted right here in the community.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bray. So that being said, we have our last slide is questions. So what we want you to do, families, if you have a question that you want to ask, please, please, please post them in our Facebook chat. We want to answer your questions. We didn't have any posted so far that I know of, Ms. Sharp. If anyone is on our Facebook Live, if there are questions posted, we'll try to answer them right now. If there aren't any questions, please feel free to ask questions. Sometimes the question you have, somebody else has as well. So next, I want to give families an opportunity to evaluate this our program today. Here's a link. If you would go to that link, there's a short evaluation that we want you to fill out. It is https://bit.ly/IZONEEBAL. This is our evaluation tool. When you get there, there's just a really short questions that we want you to answer about your experience today. And on behalf of all of our iZone partners, all our teachers represented, and our district leaders, we thank you for joining us today. We hope that you got something out of our program. And again, we'll be on live again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Thank you, families, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.